as I mentioned before, there are many background services which collect and enrich data, and these services are not really visible to the end user. DataBeagle UI, which you see here, is typically used by compliance team, paralegal team, legal team, or investigation officer. You know, all the data normally gets ingested into the system on predefined frequency. It is like daily, weekly, for internal compliance reviews. So with that, we are logging in as John Smith. John Smith is one of the reviewers, and his daily assignment is to perform communication monitoring on some of the custodian. Now, when John logs in, as you can see, by default, he would see the supervision dashboard. This dashboard provides him an update of overall status. Since there are a lot of documents he need to review, he would go to his workspace. And as you can see, this is a very, very simple search screen. And if John has to search for any content on keyword, he can just type in and click for that search. So in this case, let's search for something like investigation. And when we search for investigation, you can see, DataBeagle comes back with all the objects containing the word investigation. Now, just to highlight here, DataBeagle supports exact search, fuzzy search, proximity searches. Users can preview the data, preview the documents. Now, before we get to that, let's go back to our search screen and explore some of the advanced search features. So in the advanced search features, you can see, there are different data types we support. Then there are different type of, filters we can add. Now, let's select all data types. And because I spoke about custodian before, so let's do a custodian search, right? So select a custodian and let's search. So we already have a custodian, Philip Allen, and Philip Allen is already created a part of the custodian. Now search for this custodian, please. So when we say custodian is not just a name. Custodian is a complex search. As you can see on the screen, custodian when we create a custodian, it basically a group of the different identities. So it means, there could be their personal email address, there could be their mobile number, there could be their, official emails and all that. So when we search for a custodian, DataBeagle searches across these objects, not only for the name, but all these metadata. Let's go back and search for that custodian, please. So when we search for the custodian, as I said before, everything related to custodian is searched for. Their mobile number, their email address, work email, personal email, or any other entity or IDs they have, it is searched for everything. I would like to take a use case scenario. Now, the use case scenario is, for example, a legal team is asking to provide all the information related to a person called Sienna. And because Sienna is suing the company for delayed insurance payout. So let's search for Sienna here. Now, as you can see, there are a lot of documents out there, and we need to find out, what is happening, why we need to investigate this further. So let's search, find out for an email. In this email, the Sienna is highlighted, and that's the reason it is part of, because the text contains Sienna. It's part of the search results. But look at the content of the email. They are talking about that there was a phone, telephonic communication happened. So let's see what that was. So let's find a message. I think it is Studio Sienna Audio MPEG file. Yeah. So I spoke about this briefly before about our object intelligence services. And our object intelligence services transform the data. And in this case, they have already extracted the text from the call recording. If you look at, the text of the call, there was a, phone call happened, and that text is already converted and part of the discovery now. And that's the reason this particular audio is part of the search results. One of the very important aspect of discovery is that when you find something related to a case, these reviewers, they say that, whether this particular data is relevant to that case or not. But in this scenario, we will create a case, and we will, because all this data needs to be investigated further. So we will use this, you build a case, move all this data into the case for further investigation. So let's create a case, and start responding and start working on investigating this. Now let's go back to our Sienna search results and move all these documents as part of the case. Let's go to that case, please. Perfect. Let's do the search again in this case and find out what all documents we have. And this is where we do the investigation. And as you can see on the top, we are only looking at all the data which is part of this case only. I mean, there is no other data which is coming up as part of the search results. One of the interesting thing what the reviewers does, their job is to identify whether a document is relevant to a case or not. So what they do is they look at the document and they can say, this is a responsive document. This is a relevant to that specific case. So with that, all other documents can be removed from the case, because the responsive documents are the ones which will be investigated further or will be used as part of the case. Now, one thing which I want to highlight is very quickly, you can see there is a dog icon there. And what it means is DataBeagle automatically senses and sniff sensitive information out of these documents. So far, just to take a summary of what we have done so far, we have looked at a simple search, we have looked at an advanced search, we have looked at how DataBeagle Object Intelligence Services convert or extract relevant information from various type of objects. And we have created a case. Now what we wanted to do is, in these scenarios, most of the times this information needs to be shared and exported for a third party. So we can go to production, and this is where we do our exports. So we can create an export based on what type of data it is, based on a query, for example. So all that is, all these are different ways how we can export the data. So with that, we end this demo. Thank you.